Hello friends, my name is Andrea Lake and I am very excited to share this process video for Scrapbooking Cards Today magazine using the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Flower Shop collection. This layout is part of the Design 101 section in the magazine, the Why It Works section. So we're going to be sharing, or I'm going to be sharing, a few design tips and design elements that worked for me and that I followed in order to put this layout together. The first of them being color. I'm gonna be creating a monochromatic layout. It's gonna be purple. I know that you see a very pink background, but I want purple to be the main color of this layout. Little bit of pink here and there and some muted colors, but purple is the main color. So that brings me to putting together a frame for this piece. Once my entire page is all put together, this frame is going to highlight the idea of the color purple being the main color. So I am now cutting the pieces that are going to be part of my background. This white piece of cardstock is trimmed at 11.5 by 11.5, leaving a 1/4 inch visible from that purple. We end up going with the solid side, but I needed to test and see what would work. And then the other pieces are, the pink piece will be trimmed at 11.25 by 11.25, and this pattern paper is 11.25 inches wide and 5 inches tall. And the one thing that I love the most about this paper is the idea of layering. You don't have to think, you don't have to spend time thinking, how can I put together layers that look right? How can I create dimension into this page? And that's the answer. The last few Simple Vintage collections from Simple Story have done that for us. All we need to do is find the perfect place for that specific pattern. So then the next step would be choosing the embellishments. You can see that I have a black and white photo, and that's very intentional. That is one of the tips actually for this layout, since I wanted to focus on color purple, and being this collection a spring collection, a black and white photo just did the trick for me. This was actually a picture we took during the fall, so it had really no place here. Different colors that would not go with purple, and this way I can make it work. I am selecting a few more elements, going through the bits and pieces, all of the journal bits and all the larger embellishments from the collection. There is a lot of purple. And what I realized is that I decided that I'm gonna challenge myself to keep creating with this collection, following the idea of monochromatic projects. Make it a layout or make a mini album. I'm gonna try to make a few more projects with this collection that are monochromatic. So I get to use, because I did use a lot of purple embellishments here, so I think it will be fun to try something different. So I'm putting together the layers for my background. You'll see me using full pages, full piece of cardstock, full piece of pattern paper. You can gut those papers and cut this, just create a thick frame and then layer your pieces on top of that. But I do like my layouts to be sturdy, so that is why you see me using full sheets of cardstock for my frames on my background. And here we go. It is time to actually go ahead and start layering. So the design is another thing that helps as a guideline. It helps the starting point of your layout. I do like this block design very much. The fact that I have what it is, a busy pattern paper either on top or at the bottom, and then that the rest of the page is more of a solid background. I'm gonna have some busy embellishments, and that's also where I'm gonna add my title. So that way my title does not get lost and my elements, my embellishments can really pop against that background. Foam stickers, Simple Stories foam stickers are always the best and always my favorite for it to use as titles for either my mini albums or my layouts in this case. Then another element that I want to highlight that really helped me while working on this layout is repetition. So you need to think of different elements or techniques that you feel will make that if you repeat them will definitely pop and will definitely create that element of that wow factor on your page. In this case, well, we know we have the purple happening all over, but there are some other elements that we are repeating. These viewfinders I think are very pretty, and I love that there were two of them that were purple and were different sizes. So this chipboard one I ended up putting on the left side, just peeking through my photo. And then the second one, it's smaller, looks the same, but it's gonna be on top of the photo on the right side. Sorry about my head there. I'm gonna use these flowers to just cover that piece of the camera. That first of all, if you cannot see at least half of the camera, doesn't really make sense. And on the other hand, it was teal, so it did not really go with my theme here. So we have my photos. So we have the viewfinders as one element. Then we're gonna have butterflies. I have one right there on that tag, and that's why I chose that tag. It doesn't really pop against the background, against the layered background, but it has the butterfly that I need for when I add the rest of them. So that one I'm gonna tuck in there. I will make sure that I can definitely see the butterfly, and I have a second tag that it's also purple, and it's the one that I'll use to add my journaling. All right, so I keep working on some layers. So the fake layering is not the only layering happening here. There is also, you'll see me playing with just regular tape, some liquid tape depending on the materials that I'm using, and then also some foam tape, lots of foam tape. Okay, we have my two tags, and then I have a few more elements to add, all of them with a little bit of purple. And then yes, the last, I'm gonna go over all of the elements in a little bit, but the last one that I have for now is the handwritten journaling. I know that not everybody enjoys that. I particularly love how typed journaling looks. I love how clean it looks, but it's just not me. To me, the fact that I will have to type it and make sure that I measure correctly and that it fits on the tag or the space that I left for it, it represents a load of work that it's not what I want to use my time doing. I do enjoy my handwriting, and I also feel I love using my favorite pens, and I do feel that it adds a personal touch. So repetition one more time. Now I'm going with enamel dots on the left, the right, and at the top. So trios, I'm repeating that pattern. You see now the butterflies have been added, and the viewfinders are there. So repetition, the frame that helps the main color of the layout stand out, a black and white photo that does not distract you from the main theme of the page, which is a monochromatic page, and you decide what story you tell, but I did want to focus on the color for this page. Then the design, as I said, it's a blocky design, so two main sections, and then from there I start adding embellishments as I feel go well. And then the layers, I love adding dimension and mixing textures. And yep, this is exactly, I'm very happy with how this page turned out. And one important thing is you don't always have to focus on either the same elements, or you don't always have to combine all of those, but using one of these techniques as a starting point is definitely really nice, as you have a clear idea and a clear vision, and then from there everything's going to flow. So I want to encourage you, I hope you enjoy the video, and I want to encourage you to watch every single video that is linked on the magazine, that you download every single freebie, printable, cut files. There are tons of those on the magazine. And my favorite section, I have to say, of the magazine is the inspiration gallery. So make sure to check that and cheer up every single person that submitted a project and that was published. I cannot wait to see who is there in this issue. And thank you again for joining. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.